Okay, I just filmed this entire thing and then realized I had the phone in portrait mode the entire time, so we're gonna try this again. I had a video request to show everyone how to charge a Active Tab 3, Samsung Active Tab 3, because a lot of people are having issues with the tab not getting enough power. It'll charge up, overnight on your battery or whatever, but during the day while you're running it, it's actually slowly discharging down to, by the end of the day, it could be down at 30% or something. So the issue with that, or what's going on here, is that the tab needs to be charging at 9 volts for high power charging. The 5 volt maintenance charging, which most USB chargers put out, isn't enough to keep the tab charged. So there's a way to get around this. It actually solves two problems in my opinion, solves two problems. So let's get the camera switched around here. We'll take a look at the bike, and I'll show you guys what I have done and how it's been working for me. Okay, back here on the Kobe 450. Here's my Samsung Active Tab 3. What I have here is very simple. All I've done is crimped on red and black to a couple of just male spade connectors. It doesn't matter if they're male or female, but you need, obviously 2 of each. So anyway, when I first did this, I crimped in the red and black, but I wasn't getting the charging that I wanted because I was still using a 5 volt converter. So I did add the green and white wires in there, which are the information positive and negatives, which don't even need to be in there. So if you guys are planning on doing this yourself, I would start with just crimping in the red and black wire, and then seeing if you're getting the charging results that you want. Now, because these wires are so small of gauge, what I do is, let's see if I can get it to focus. This is just a turn signal. This isn't even the charger. What I do is I'll take the insulation off a pretty big portion of the wire that's still going to fit in here once I bend it in half. So I've spun this wire, it's nice and tight, and then I bend it in half. So I've doubled the gauge of the wire now. And then when I stick it into the crimp here, it crimps in so much better. It gets a lot better holding power. So anyway, that's a little trick I use in order to get these wires in here. Now the second piece of this puzzle is the converter here. So I started out with a 12 volt to 5 volt converter, and that wasn't doing the trick. When this tab is on maximum brightness and you're running an application like DMD or Google Maps or something that requires GPS at the same time, I mean, this thing does need quite a bit of juice. So even though it says that this is a 5 volt device, it does need 9 volts when it's actually running at high power. And then the 5 volt is only for maintenance charging when you get above a certain amount. So this is a really cheap device. You can just get them on Amazon. It has 2 wires. They're kind of hard to see there because they're buried down in there. Fused from the USB charger on this bike, so they're protected. Red is positive 12 volt, black negative 12 volt. And then on the other side, they spell it out here for you. Yellow is positive 9 volt, and then black is negative 9 volt. So I just have a couple female spade connectors right here. I can switch this tab. I have a converter on. These are so cheap, this is like $10 or something. I can switch the tab from this bike over to the KTM. I'm going to be riding that for the day. And then I have the RAM holder. This one has the fan, 12 volt fan, which helps cool the battery. I don't have it plugged in or anything. And then this one over here doesn't have the fan. This one's a little bit cheaper. And then the holder is, I just have mounted with some little rubber I'm not even sure what you call it. They've got threads on both sides, so pretty easy to mount. If I'm riding a really hard trail, this thing bounces around a little bit, but it's pretty strong rubber, so it doesn't bounce around too much. Now, the second reason that I decided to do this, chop the cable and switch over to a converter type charging system, you may not have any problems. If you just have the normal USB-C cable here, you may have this thing plugged into your USB outlet up here, and that works fine for you. And I'm not sure if they're able to switch between 5-volt and 9-volt charging for you, but I was having an issue with it. So the other issue with this USB-C charger has such a small footprint inside the female counterpart. This one, I bent it back, but it was bent out of shape just from jiggling around riding on Forest Service roads and stuff so much. These, I don't really like these unless there's really not any weight on them, and you can see how big this cord is with this thing jiggling around all the time. That's a lot of weight to be putting on this little end here. So anyway, maybe if you're using a regular USB end with a bigger footprint, it probably holds itself into the charger a little bit better. But this thing, once it started bouncing around, it was no longer charging, or it was getting spotty charging. So I said, no, that's not going to work for me. So I started researching, did a little bit of cutting and crimping and testing to see what was going to work for me. And that's when I found, it was in one of the forums, someone was talking about how these tablets actually need 9-volt heavy charging before they go into their 5-volt maintenance charging. So anyway, I feel like I killed two birds with one stone by switching away from this USB-C charger. And this is this is something that'll work for any of your devices. If you instead of having a 9-volt charger, you want to go to a 5-volt, put a 5-volt in here as well. You could run all sorts of things that require power that you're going to have kind of like hard mounted onto the bike or whatever you want. So I think that about wraps it up. If you guys have any more questions about what I've done here, just put a comment down in the below the video. This is a really quick, easy DIY operation. Nothing, you don't have to get fancy with it. I'll put the links to in the description for everything I purchased for this. Again, it's really easy. If you have any of this electronic stuff, the spade connectors and everything to do that, it's really not rocket science. It was mainly trying to figure this out from the get-go of why this thing wasn't charging. But anyway, again, let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, yeah, I'll see you in the next video.